Ave Satanas, welcome. I'm the daughter of Lilith. You're watching Sanctuary Satanica, and I'm behind on my Qliphothic Vision series. It's okay. We're gonna start from where we're at. All right. So I'm crossing the abyss now. As of what? 3 days ago. That's what I'm doing. I spent a lot of time in Ghe'ahgsheblah, more time than the other Qliphoth, I think. Besides maybe the first. I think in Behemoth I spent a bit of time there. There was a lot of ground to cover in Ghe'ahgsheblah, for sure. There was some monetary things, there were some personal things, there were some traumatic things, there were some things just regarding all the previous Qliphoth that I had to deal with. It's hard to fully summarize it, but I'll talk a bit about what I experienced on the day side, because that's a big reason why I really haven't shared a lot of the previous Qliphoth here, because I think with how much stuff happened on the day side, it's weird for me to bring up the past like that, and I want to do that in a place I feel safe. So that will not be on a super public forum. I will let y'all know where you can watch that in a later date when it's ready. But this one was more focused on me, so I feel okay just sharing it. I Those of you who've watched my content for a while, you know that I am no contact with my mother. There's good reason for that. Many good reasons for that. My mother's not supposed to be getting to me through other people, but she still does, and my family still enables her to do that. Which is harassment. So, love that. But a bunch of shit was dumped at my door from my mother's house, and if you have a narcissistic mother, you'll catch on very quickly. This shit was a box of photographs, drawings, things that I made as a child, photographs of me as a child, my baby clothes, my baby teeth, my letters to the tooth fairy, gifts I'd given my mother when I was a child that I made, and school projects that she kept or whatever for some reason. And then what was really interesting was my ultrasound imaging was in there. So when I was in her womb. And if you have a narcissistic mother, you understand what my mother meant by this, which is funny because the entirety of my relationship with my mother, post my sister's birth anyway, post my father's divorce with her, she made it very clear that I was not part of the family. You know, she's made it very, very clear that I'm not part of her family, as she said to me. And I understood that, growing up in that house, that I was not part of the family. So it's very funny that she, gave me all this stuff, and I understood exactly what she meant by it, but that's not how I emotionally received it. Instead of feeling like, oh my god, my mom's rejecting me, I didn't feel that way at all, because my mother, you had to, I don't feel like I lost a mother at all, because I don't feel like I ever had one, so I can't feel lost for something I've never known, you know what I mean? So there's really I don't care. But to hold the first image of me in my hands, and to see that, and to have it be mine and no longer be hers, was empowering. It was very empowering. It allowed me room for myself, and it reminded me why I'm doing this. Seeing pictures of myself as a little girl reminded me why I'm doing all of this. And by this I mean everything I'm doing. Everything. I am becoming the woman of her dreams. Well, first of all, I've already been the woman of her dreams. I'm surpassing that now. I'm being an even better adult than she ever could have imagined I'd be. My younger self, my inner child. I'm doing the work of reparenting my inner child. That's something that's going to be a lifetime of doing, but in this, I can't even call it really a qlipha. I guess it is a qlipha, not a sphere. In the abyss, in Doth, I expected, a lot of a certain kind of shadow work. I expected a lot more like trauma digging, trauma archaeology, and I realized, here it's like, no, we've dug it all up. It's all up, it's all out, physically and spiritually. So literally in my living room right now, all that stuff. As I cleaned my bedroom and rearranged my bedroom, rearranged my temple space, I went through pretty much everything in my bedroom, and there was a lot of my past tucked away in things, tucked away inside, taking up space, and letting it go, holding space for it to like acknowledge it, but also letting it go. And my final trial in Ghe'ahgsheblah, because I spent a lot of time in Ghe'ahgsheblah, because I wanted to be fully prepared to be in the abyss, which is where I am now, which is kind of impossible. It's kind of like you can't fully be prepared to go through the abyss. It's kind of part of the point. But I wanted to be as prepared as possible, Virgos. And so my final trial, so to speak, was to let go of something. And letting go of that wasn't sad the way I thought it would be. I let go of several things, but I let go of the two main things I let go of was a relationship and a job. I've been with that job for like 4 years. The relationship was short-lived, but it was Qliphothic from the beginning, for me anyway, and there were some other trials involved with that relationship, and it served its purpose. And by the time, and I kept trying to make videos. This is partially why I didn't make these videos. I tried making videos about those instances and those qliphoth, and I could just never really decide if I really wanted to outright name the person and talk about it or not, or whatever, because I just didn't know how it would age. And it was a fairly new relationship. It never matured into like a real relationship, in my opinion. It kind of moved too fast, and I was aware it was moving too fast, but I went with it. And yeah, that's something that I need to stop doing. But and that's not to say I didn't have any good times with this person. Like I did, but like I found myself towards the end. I found myself like quietly thinking like, how the fuck do I get out of this? How the fuck do I get out of this? How the fuck do I get out of this? And the reason I like thought like that was like, this person had a lot of information about me. The last time I suggested breaking up or that it might not work out, like, he absolutely lost his shit at me. So like I just didn't know what the fuck he would do if I broke up with him. And I prayed to Astaroth, and I prayed to her, help me out. Like, if it's not meant for me, like, take it away. Because I was also confused, because I was like, this was something that happened because of this, and am I meant to work through this? Am I meant to hold on to it, or am I meant to let it go? I got confirmation I was meant to let it go. It saw itself out. Well, he saw himself out, excuse me. He saw himself out. And I was relieved. And I wanted to feel sad about that, but I really didn't. I didn't. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I don't even feel, sometimes I'm just like, should I feel sad about that? Maybe I should I feel sad about not feeling sad. Does that make sense? Because for me, this was a blip, and for this person, I was his longest relationship. So like, a like romantic relationship. So for me, like, it's really like I had a fling, things got out of hand. I'm out of it now, and like for that other person, I don't know. I don't know how they're dealing with it. Um, I don't really care. But I found myself, like, every time I wanted to talk about a Rob's Rock, no matter how much love was in my heart, I really just couldn't bring myself to. And now I know why. I think I wanted to see the whole picture first. And I'm grateful I can now. That's not to negate any of the positive things that happened, but there were a lot of negative things going on as well that a lot of people didn't see from the public image of our relationship. So will I ever talk about that? I don't know. I don't know if I feel safe to talk about some of it. But that's what went down. More happened in other Qliphothic. But yeah, I let go of that. When I let go of my job, it was very anticlimactic. I went in on Friday as if it was normal, and I got kind of lucky on Friday. I made a little bit of money, but it was still unacceptable to me because I know that I can make like at least $800 a night, and if I'm getting used to making like fucking $200, $300, like that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Like, I'm too hot for that. It's stupid. So I was getting really irritated at the club, and there was a lot of disrespect. And before my surgery, 2 girls on one night were assaulted on stage, and nothing really was done about it. And I realized that I wasn't surprised at all, and that was probably when I realized, I'm like, okay, if I'm not even shocked at this, then I'm in the wrong place. You know what I mean? I'm in the wrong fucking place. I don't want to fucking be here. I'm not saying that clubs don't have things happen. Clubs have things happen. But what matters is how the club handles it. And if the club isn't really handling it, then I don't want to be there, right? Nonetheless, after my surgery, I went back convinced that like I would need the money, and that I was putting off like this audition. I wanted to go to another club, and I don't know, just a Friday night being that dead at that club because they refused to advertise, even though I modeled for the website. Like, it's just I gave a lot. I gave a lot to that place. I wasn't paid for that shoot. It's a huge risk to me to have my face and my dancer name out on a platform I don't control. It's still there, like it will probably be there for a while, unless the club wants to be petty and remove me immediately, in which case I'm totally fine with that. Like, whatever, like, disassociating from that. I will be changing my look partly to disconnect from that, so when I go to the new club, I'll probably be using the same name, but I will at least look a little different, and I can sort of start anew, rebrand a little bit, and I think a change is good for me. I'm really kind of sick of this hair color. I'm really kind of sick of this hair color a little bit. As pretty as it is, I'm over it. So we're gonna be changing that up. I'm learning a lot of new magics. I'm sorry, I keep itching right here. I recently acquired a djinn. I don't know what to do with her. I didn't expect to get one. So I'm figuring that out. I'm figuring that out. Yeah, I've been reading about the djinn before that happened, and yeah, there's still a lot to learn, still a lot to figure out with that one. I have uncovered a guide. We'll call him a guide. That may have been with me for quite some time that I didn't realize was there, and that was helping bring me to Satan and protect me. So I have been learning about and exploring information about him. I've been preparing for a space for him. because he's going to have his own space, and I'm excited. I can't show anyone that altar, but I'm so excited to explore that. And when I'm ready, I might talk about it. I might not. So whatever. But either way, I'll probably talk about the Jinn stuff if it gets interesting, or of course if my Jinn loses interest and goes off on her own. I mean, I don't know. I can't control what she does, but yeah, it's exciting. I have a lot of things going on. I want to start offering services. I think I've been able to test out my method of trapping curses and things like that for myself and for others. I want to start providing it for other people as a service. How I go about that might be a little bit tricky. That might require a different kind of testing because the variables are a little bit different if I am doing it for someone else as opposed to having someone else do it for themselves through me coaching them. So that might be a little bit challenging, but I'll figure it out. So that's that. I'm gonna need to get probably like a virtual mailbox of some kind, because there's also like physical things I want to be able to ship to people, and people have been sending me packages and stuff, and I've been handing out my personal information, and maybe I shouldn't be doing that. So I think I should get one of those. That's a matter of renting that shit though, so we'll gotta save up a little bit of money. Yeah, lots of dynamic change going on. As October descends upon me in Salem, it's harder to get in and out of the city, and its frustrations are high. Mercury has gone direct, but plenty of other planets are still retrograde. I don't know all the ones that are retrograde right now. I'm scared to look, frankly. I know Jupiter right now, very close to the Earth. Well, appears to be close to the Earth. Was rising on the horizon a few hours ago. So that's pretty incredible because Ghe'ahgsheblah is ruled by Jupiter, and I just ended my time there. Yes, this new guide that has come forward has expressed that he wants to help me through the abyss. And I'm learning about a certain kind of magic that I have rejected very strongly in the past. And always said I had no interest in it, was never going to do it. So now I'm being challenged to explore that a bit. We'll see where that goes. I'm also trying not to get too lost in all the new things I'm learning. And I'm like that, ADHD, I get really hyperfixated on some new stuff. But this journey through the abyss, it's very much about the real shadow work, the tangible shadow work of going through my entire bedroom where there was filth before I even lived here. Filth like ingrained in the floors and the sides of the wall that like I just ignored and I wasn't able to clean because I was sharing the space with two other people at the time. I didn't have like space to put my stuff and clean the actual bedroom. And to finally like dig out all my shit, clean, scrub the floors, like mop, and have it be clean in here. That was some real shadow work. That's some real shadow work. You want to do real shadow work? Clean your fucking space. And I don't mean just like tidy it up or wipe it down with some disinfectant. I mean from the bottom up, from the top down. Go through it. What's the stuff that you need? Marie Kondo it, bitch. Does it spark fucking joy? Is it are you hoarding trash? Are you hoarding old letters or like drawings you hate, or like I had a lot of like poetry that I was a kid. Like I saved some stuff. Like don't get me wrong, I didn't throw out everything indiscriminately. But there's a lot of things that I'm just like, I didn't know this existed, or I forgot it existed, and like I didn't need it. I can acknowledge it, I can thank it for its purpose, and then I can let it go. You know, just Marie Kondo that shit, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Like, these are the things I won't need when I'm a god. You know? And if it doesn't spark joy in me as a human right now, what the fuck purpose is it serving? So, that's how I think of it. It can be sad, it can be triggering, it can be it's not fun. I'm an accumulator. You know, my grandfather was a little bit of a hoarder. But I would say he's an accumulator at heart. ADHD. I think with generations of ADHD in my family. Generations of ADHD, because like my mother, by contrast, would purge things and like constantly alter the house because she couldn't stand living in the same place, because she grew up as an army brat and would change a lot, and that would be stimulating for her, you know. And so for me, like, I'm realizing, okay, I don't need to like put holes in my walls like my mother did, and I don't need to accumulate all these things like my grandfather did. And I can let go of things periodically. I don't need to throw out a bunch of stuff all the time, but if it's time, it's time. So that's very much been it. I've been reading, listening to the audiobook of Bell Hooks's book All About Love, and that has been not so much as eye-opening as I was hoping for, but it's been very affirming. It's been very confirming. It's been validating for much of the experience of my life, and it's helped me to detach my experiences from my self-esteem a bit, because I think a lot of the time when we grow up depressed and abused, you know, I only realized recently that I technically do have an eating disorder. I didn't know what ARFID was, now I do. So I might just have a little bit of that. Learning how to take care of myself, because I grew up in a home of neglect, and being disabled, I never really learned how to I learned how to do my own laundry, of course, and how to get a job and pay for rent and cook for myself, but I didn't know how to like maintain a home, keep a house, be routine with my cleaning, be routine with my organizing, getting rid of things I don't need, making space for guests, making space for myself, and taking pride in that. So that's the big shift for me right now, is taking pride in like taking care of myself. It's a challenge with my busy schedule and my lack of energy sometimes, and my lack of ability to focus sometimes, but I'm getting better. I'm making it more of a priority. I'm trying to get excited about different things, you know, with ARFID. What's really important is understanding how that intersects with ADHD or autism. You know, maybe it's not that you have to have ADHD or autism to have it, but like it's very common with neurodivergent people. I'm autistic, but I have ADHD, and understanding that I have to like keep variety in my life, keep interest in food, not eat the same thing every day, but I also need food that's accessible to me, that I don't have to cook, that I don't have to prepare, so I can eat when I'm just hungry. There's a lot of things that I have to accommodate, because I just passively don't take in as much food as I should. That's basically what our food does to you. On top of like, what is the word? It's similar to alexithymia, but like it's about bodily functions, um, which again, neurodivergent people often experience, and I have that about hunger. I don't have it about thirst, but I have it about hunger, and I kind of have it about using the bathroom sometimes. I just like don't realize how long I've been holding it, or I don't realize how long I've been hungry until I'm extremely hungry, and then I just like eat an unhealthy snack that my metabolism's just gonna get rid of. So it's, and people with ADHD have higher metabolism or faster metabolisms on average. So there's a lot of factors going on there. And it's hard, when you're your own doctor and you're your own fucking therapist. Like, it's really hard. Would I like to go back to therapy at some point? Yeah, but I have a feeling that after this Qliphothic initiation, I won't really have much to say in therapy anymore because I've already said it here. I've already dealt with it here. That's not to say I won't have problems in my life or I want therapy again, but like, what is there to talk about? What is there to talk about? I would mostly just want to consult someone about solutions I haven't considered. That's mainly why I would consider like going to like a professional about something and be like, hey, like these are the things I've tried. Do you have better suggestions, like based on what's going on with me? You know what I mean? But I'm not really gonna sit through the whole process of like telling all my trauma and whatever. No, we've gone through that. That's so dumb. Like it's not dumb. It's a necessary part of things. But like I've been doing that for so long, analyzing my fucking trauma. No, like no. We're gonna act like a healed bitch. Period. You want to be healed? Act healed, bitch. That's something I did learn in one of the Qliphoth, and something I'm still learning now, but in a different facet of my life. So I'm learning true self-love, and true self-love is holistic. It doesn't stop at just these internal feelings about myself. It has to be reflected in how I treat myself and my environment and my home, and my friends and my family. So it's holistic, in my community, at large. So that's the adjustment I'm making. I'm excited. I'm also terrified. I really don't know exactly what's on the other side, but I know what I want to do. So I'm gonna just do it and hope it works out. I'm so grateful to have the support I have across all these different platforms, and I think sometimes it scares me a bit, like, to be heard. I'm so used to being invisible, and I think that's probably why I have deliberately not ridden the growth of my social media very much. Being visible is new to me. And so even though I have a very small platform compared to other people who are very good and savvy with the internet, I'm really not in any rush to have a huge platform. I'm really not in any rush to be popular. And that's not really part of my success plan anyway. So, yes, I need a little bit of an audience, but I don't need to be necessarily popular. So that's where I stand on that. But I'm gonna wrap this up. It's getting pretty late where I am, and I stayed up a bit to make this video, and it's not the first take of this video, but this will be what I put up there. Thank you so much for your support. I plan on going live again on this channel soon. I want to talk more about political magic. I want to talk more about I want to talk more about the black flame. You know, I really want to talk about that. I want to talk about my experiences of the black flame. I want to talk about Satan. I want to talk about Lilith. I want to talk about everything I'm doing. And there's a lot of stuff I'm working on that I want to share as well. So I want to have a dialogue about that. I want to have you guys' input on that. And if any of you are going through your own Qliphothic journeys right now, tell me about it in the comments. Tell me all about it. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's a super long video, but it's good to catch up with y'all. I'm not going anywhere, but you know how I am. I disappear sometimes. I always pop back up though. And you can always find me on other platforms somewhere. So thank you for being patient with me, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for supporting me. Hail Satan. Good night.